I watched Twitter on Charley Kirk's death, I was just completely shocked from what I saw.
I was absolutely shocked. And I was shocked because I haven't been to Twitter for many, many years. I don't discuss politics on social media at all. And so I was shocked because here I was like, let me check what people think of this. And I was just like, things are worse than I thought. And the reason they are worse than I thought is because society is so polarized. And you've heard this a million times. You've heard someone tell you, polarization is the problem. It's not the other group, it's you. Because you feel like you are right and they are wrong. But this is very surface level. And I, as a psychologist, want to do a deep dive here with you to truly show you why. To truly show you psychological theories linked to this that show you why the heck you should stop engaging in cultural wars and why that is the problem that's going on here. Because when I just tell you, hey guys, stop with cultural wars, the polarization of the society is the problem, not the other party, you're not gonna believe me.
Polarization is a problem. It's really bad. It's so bad. It's so bad.
So let's do a deep dive into a first psychological theory that has everything to do with what's going on with Charley Kirk's death or any other political thing right now. And this theory is the theory of unconditional others acceptance from a famous psychologist from America called Albert Ellis. Albert Ellis is the first father of what we now know as cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT for short. So Albert Ellis is virtually the guy that we are thankful to for having the best and most clinically proven therapy of today, which is CBT. Albert Ellis came up with this philosophy of unconditional others acceptance as a way of saying, hey, you may not like what someone else is doing. You may be conservative, you may not like what progressivists are saying. You may say, hey, these opinions are bad, but you still resist the temptation that's inherent in us as human beings to therefore say, oh, and therefore this person is bad because they think this. Unconditional acceptance is a skill, it's a muscle, it's something that you can grow in a psychotherapy that's sort of self-psychotherapy. Every single day, you may learn to grow in unconditional others acceptance by reading articles from the different party, watching videos with arguments from the different party. I've always been more on the conservative side, so the way I learned unconditional others acceptance, I watched progressivists talk about why they believe what they believe. And I didn't just watch that like most of you would watch that with, oh, what an idiot, oh my god, it's such a stupid take, I'm gonna write a comma here. No, I was like, shut up, Paul. Don't touch the keyboard. I know you think your argument is way smarter than this person's and that you can provide every counter-argument possible to what they probably miss, but maybe I missed something. So let's shut up now, let's refrain from the keyboard, and let's just not engage in the culture wars. Let's hear the argument of the other party. And I truly went overboard with this, guys. I went everywhere I could go, like, okay, best books on Amazon, best reviews on, let's say I didn't like the issue of global warming much. I wasn't much into that in the past. I'm still not into that, but I was like, okay, what's the best book that proves global warming on Amazon with the best reviews? What's the best book recommended on social media for this? What are some of the best videos supporting this? I watched them all, and I was like, shut up, Paul, shut up, shut up, shut up, because I wanted to write, no, this may just be like it's non-existent. But I kept there, I watched these videos, and that's what you gotta do. That's how you train the muscle of what's called unconditional others acceptance. And UOA, unconditional others acceptance, is something that can save the world right now because you are the problem. And I'm saying you because 90% of you watching this video probably engage in some cultural wars in one way or another. And you think you're the solution, you think you're the remedy, you think you are what's gonna save the planet because my opinion is the right one, and hear me out because you definitely missed this point that I'm about to make now. But you don't realize that with every point you make, you drive the other party even further away from you and they get even more angry. And why is that a problem, guys? Why you gotta train your brain to be open-minded? Why you gonna do this as a form of exposure therapy, where you expose yourself to this anxiety? Oh, I don't wanna hear these people, but no, let me really see their arguments. Let me really open myself to it. Well, you gotta do this because, guys, what's going on is critical. People have such a conditional others' acceptance. Any way, shape, or form that you stray away from what they particularly believe in, they immediately label you with something like fascist, bad person, evil of the world, horrible. And whenever there are these great voices that say, hey, you guys are the problem, this is the problem. Not what you say, the polarization is the problem. What's the issue is that people do not hear this. It falls on deaf ears because it's like saying, hey, don't be angry, don't be anxious. They're just thoughts, just leave them be. Oh, just breathe, just don't care about. To someone who's extremely anxious, who has generalized anxiety disorder, OCD, you cannot tell this person that because it's such a surface level, they thought of that already. It's a form of philosophy for life that regards other people that comes sort of from the Christian belief that judge the sin but not the sinner. It resonates with that because it says you may judge. Okay, so there are two things I may judge on people. Actually, more than two, but two main ones. I may judge their thinking as either good or bad, and I may judge their actions as either good or bad. So let me give you an example. When some activists now blocked some cyclist tournament, you may say as a conservative, this is bad. I don't like this. It doesn't align with my values as a human being. It doesn't align with what I think should be a constructive way to protest, but I don't judge these people, these particular individuals, as bad, okay? And I don't judge myself as good. So this is unconditional others' acceptance. Focus on the two things in politics. Judge what they think as either good or bad, or align with me, not align with me, and they're thinking as good or bad. But you never judge the person. And what is the person? Well, it's their totality, their human worth. You never say, oh, this is an idiot, this is a bad person, this is evil of the world. By that, it's almost like you're saying, hey, these are orcs from Lord of the Rings. Or even worse, they're like, you're saying, hey, they're this, they're unhuman. You reduce their worth, you reduce them as people to something unusable bad. Or you say, oh, these people align with me, they're good. Stop doing that. And what do I mean by stop? It means notice it, become aware of it as a pattern that is prevalent in every human being. And in what Albert Ellis said, he said, this is a genetic tendency that we, for some reason, as human beings have, but it runs deep in us, but it's illogical, it's unpragmatic, it doesn't help us at all, and it's not rational. Now, why should we not therefore judge people as good or bad? And it's truly a skill, guys. Like, I've developed this. Even if I don't agree with you, no longer my brain is like, oh, this is an idiot, this is a bad person. Sometimes, of course, because I still have that genetic tendency to do it, but I eradicated it almost in my brain. Like, my brain is rewritten now. And the reason why you should stop doing this is because I'm afraid for the world. I'm afraid for the world, and I'm a super optimistic person. I'm kind of like hobbits in the Lord of the Rings nowadays, after all the therapy I've done on myself for years. But I'm kind of like, yeah, cheerful. But guys, yeah, it's literally, that's what's wrong with the world nowadays, I believe. And I may, of course, be wrong. This is part of unconditional others' acceptance, is realizing you don't hold the key from truth. There are many options about what truth is. There are many different angles. Each one of these angles may have some merit of truth in them. This is what's important. Some merit of truth. So, the why behind why you should cultivate this is that it's a dangerous world out there. Like, if half the people sort of not just dislike the other half, but deem them in their whole totality, meaning in everything they are, not just their opinions, not just their behavior, but in their humanity, as not worth, as bad people, as someone who's worth being shot or worth being, and this is for both sides. I'm not just saying this because some progressivists were like, yeah, it's great, someone has been shot. That's not why I'm saying it. I'm saying it because both sides are kind of like, yeah, these people should be shot there. If you believe that, don't you think you're kind of part of the problem? Like, what's more likely? Listen, the world is so complex. We're not gods. We're not omnipotent beings. I'm sorry to break this, but we don't hold keys from the truth. And I'm saying this as someone who studied politics more than anyone almost, because I had what's called political OCD. I literally studied this stuff for 6, 7, 8 hours a day, write in Facebook commentaries. Now I don't do any of that. I barely watch some news here and there. There's no engagement. I'm not on social media. I'm not talking there, and my mental health is the best it has ever been. Why? Because I disengage from that. What you do for your mental health, what you do for this is gonna translate to the planet, is gonna translate to the society. And why? Because guys, we don't hold keys from the truth. Really get this on board. This is the healthiest philosophy you can have. I don't hold keys from the truth. There's so much I don't know. I'm so ignorant. It's that old Socratic, it's what every philosopher had, is I'm gonna be inquiratory in how I view the world because I don't have all the answers. But nowadays we're anti-Socratic, which means I have the truth. And you don't only have a bad opinion, which you can have, guys. That's, of course, humanity. That's what you need to have to navigate the world. I have these values. I think they're good. You have opposite values. I think they're bad. And that's normal. But the moment you extend that from values, behaviors, thinking to that person, so you are bad, you're an idiot, you're orc from Lord of the Rings, that's the problem. And the moment you do this, forget about society now. You are unhealthy, my friend. You don't have good mental health. You skyrocket your OCD tendencies, your anxiety, your depression, your rage. Why? Because you do this to yourself. And you gotta realize this is a genetic tendency. It runs deep in us. What does it mean, genetic? It means it's not your fault. Have some sympathy with yourself. You're gonna be in this tendency for life to judge others as idiots, or yourself as an idiot, or life as completely bad. We have this tendency to overgeneralize and go into this extreme thinking. But no, these people are not idiots. They're not evil, they're not bad, they're not monsters. They just have different opinion from you. How do I know they're not monsters? Because they're people. They have 2 legs, 2 arms. They may change. You know, I had some really extreme political beliefs in the past that I now don't hold anymore. So if I was an idiot, you know, because we state this as it's for life. This person is just doomed. It's an idiot. So guys, read a book called How to Stubbornly Refuse to Make Yourself Miserable About Anything from Albert Ellis. If you want to see a change in the world and not just talk about it, not be afraid, not have your anxiety, depression. So much of anxiety and depression today is linked to politics and these culture wars. It's a philosophy, it's a skill, and it's a form of self-therapy, which is more important than just philosophy. Because philosophy, you may talk about Nietzsche all you want, but it's different from self-therapy. Self-therapy means, hey, this is applicable, there's a homework for you, you can try this out for yourself. And my homework for you now is, you don't like global warming? Find the best book, start reading it today. If you don't have time, find the best book for global warming with all the best arguments. Sorry, not the best book, the best video, watch that video. If you don't like people who are anti-migration, good. Find a book called, for example, The Strange Death of Europe. That's a book on all the arguments on why mass migration may be bad. Really get in a balance. That's what mental health is, guys. And that's what society health is. Because what is society health? It's all mental health that's being projected onto a larger scale. That's what you see. It's the mental worlds of people. You literally see, like when I read these comments on Facebook, that's what's being projected on a big plate that we're all watching in this cinema called society. I literally see, okay, this person is very unstable mentally. He's very mentally unhealthy if this is what he writes on the internet. And yes, that's the case. Because here, you're projecting here, and that's what we call politics and society. Guys, the homework is get acquainted, whatever the word is in English, with the best arguments of the other party. Why? Because you open your mind and you enter the doorway of unconditional others acceptance. Then read the book from Albert Ellis called How to Stubbornly Refuse to Make Yourself Miserable About Anything, and you will read about this incredible philosophy of unconditional others acceptance. You will understand that it's a form of self-therapy that you can not only practice every day, but grow in every day. You will realize that it correlates directly with your level of what's called unconditional life and unconditional self-acceptance. You will realize directly that the less you will stop judging people as complete idiots or anything else which is in their totality. So not just their thinking or behavior, but damn, you're an idiot, you're bad because you think this or you do this. You will start judging yourself more. You will realize there's a clear connection. Oh, that's why I think I'm a loser. That's why I so often have problems with self-esteem. That's why I'm not confident to talk on a video on YouTube. That's why I have anxiety issues. That's why when I have OCD or anxiety or something bad's happened with my school job, I have breakdowns because I have lack of life acceptance as well, and they all correlate. The way I judge others, I will judge me, and I will judge my life. You think it's not the case, you're wrong, I think. I may be wrong, this is part of the acceptance thing, but these are the same centers in your brain, these are the same synapses running. Your brain doesn't care if it's you judging conservatives, or if it's you judging yourself, or if it's you judging life. Why? Because it's all the same synapses this runs on in the same systems of the brain, and when they get buffed because you exercise them so much on social media, oh, you're an idiot, it's gonna be very easy for your brain to make that connection. Oh, maybe I'm an idiot. Because now I got fired from my job. What a loser I am. Maybe I should kill myself. Maybe I should just be depressed and slouch because what a loser I am. They're all connected. That's why you have self-esteem issues, depression, and anxiety. They're not disconnected. That's why you literally have your mental health issues, because you always engage there. How do I know? Because I'm one of the few people on the planet, I think, who completely disengage from political wars, who are in the middle, balanced, who sees both sides of the argument, who can argue with both arguments from both of these seeming sides, and there's way more sides than just two, which you will realize if you embark on this, and that's all I wanted to share here. So guys, please comment on this video, share it if you liked it, click on the like button, I will greatly appreciate this, and have a good one, and see you guys later, and peace.